Hey guys, it's M, and today we're going to be making a video I never expected to make. Now initially I was going to make an entire video about Fallout 4 as a whole. Hell, I even recorded one years ago I never uploaded. But I felt everything I feel about it as a whole has been said before. To sum up my thoughts about it, it's a good shooter and a good story-based game, but I wouldn't call it a great Fallout game. Your character feels like a cut-out white bread good guy, the four-pronged dialogue sucks, the voice character has good voice acting, but kinda takes away from the originality of your character. And before someone says what that platypus guy said, having a mod to make your character a mutant and show you full dialogue options doesn't change the point that the entire game is written and restricted for that system. Most of the fun creative perks are gone in exchange for buffing damage and learning how to craft things, and I could probably go on and on about that, but today I wanted to talk about a specific little character in this game. Ada, or as I'd call her, the worst handled companion in the game. To break down why I think that, we're gonna have to do a quick summary of Automatron. As I'm sure you guys are aware, Automatron starts with you getting a distress call and saving Ada from the Mechanist robots. She's in grief from losing her caravan of honest traders and wants revenge against the Mechanists. This sends you on some combat encounters where you fight a new group of raiders known as the Rust Devils, alongside the Mechanists' roaming forces. You find out that the robots think they're saving people by killing, you eventually confront the Mechanist herself, either kill her or talk her down with a medium skill check, by the way.
I'm not here to kill you, only to get you and your robots to stand down.
Done.
Then you can talk to Ada and she says she's sad she lost her friends, but knowing it led to the Commonwealth being an overall safer place makes her happy. Now, her entire characterization has been that she's an empathetic robot. She loved her caravan, her creator, and wants the betterment of the Commonwealth so no one would have to suffer. Now you may be wondering what she likes or dislikes. After all, every companion except Dogmeat has some sort of opinion on your actions around the world. Well, she doesn't have any. At all. She doesn't like or dislike anything you do. She'll never leave you or admire you. Which I'm sure you could understand why that's a problem since she's, I don't know, a written character with her own story? This leads to you being able to do things you know she wouldn't be comfortable with. Things like cannibalism, stealing, murdering. You know, little things like that. It's especially bad at Nuka World. Nuka World by itself has a handful of problems story-wise that I'm sure you already know. They force your generic good guy protag into becoming a generic bad guy protag. You're tasked with taking over the Commonwealth, but the Raiders have no ending, so you need someone else to truly lead anyway. But disregarding those, Ada 1000% would not be okay with becoming a murderous robot for a Raider overboss. If anything, I imagine she'd react harsher than even Preston would. But nope, she doesn't even care. Still giving her normal target eradicated type comments even when killing innocents. You can argue a few NPCs have this exact same problem when Nuka World comes into play. The issue of being the generic good guy for the entire base story makes it almost impossible to believe that any of these other companions would even want to talk to you after you join up with literal raiders. But Ada is one of the most egregious examples, because the others at least will step to you when you kill settlers with them, but Ada won't. But let's get off of Nuka World, right? We've already discussed how she doesn't react to killing or stealing, so of course that tracks to the base game's actions. But when would it be really odd for her not to react to anything? I wonder if there's any specific factions I feel she'd react really negatively to. Hey, what's the Institute's picture doing here? As a simple caravan robot, her, like damn near everyone else except X6, would probably hate the Institute for killing and replacing innocent people. But she doesn't have any comment on them either. The Institute's an easy punching bag for bad writing, so let's get off of it. Right? Are there any other times I feel Ada would say anything? Now me personally, I'm thinking damn near every quest near the halfway point. A lot of factions require you to kill the railroad, something I doubt Ada would be quiet about. The Brotherhood, because of their beliefs, would probably hate her due to her saying she has emotions and free will. But we never get to know her thoughts on them or what they think about her. I imagine she'd at least have a single comment about the Minutemen, considering they're the cookie-cutter good guys of this game. Maybe something about admiring their work, but we don't get any of that. Maybe we should stop talking about the story in this story-based game. Let's get into modding. You can apply any mods, any colors, or anything you want to her without limitations. This, again, feels weird because I feel she personally wouldn't be okay with a lot of the customization options. On my latest playthrough, I intentionally made her look like a Raider murder bot, taking off her blue coloring and sticking a human skull on her head. She doesn't care. She doesn't have any comments on what you do to her at all. Which to that, I can't imagine she'd be okay with a dead human skull sticking on the front of her face at all times. I always felt like Ada should have had some principles when you mod her, such as turning down or not letting you give her the more Raider-like modifications, as she wouldn't want to look like one of those murderous scrap bots that killed Jackson or brought harm to the Commonwealth. She doesn't let you disable her personality, and even has a witty comeback if you ask her to self-destruct. So I don't think this would be that out of line for her. You could attempt to counter-argue me by saying, well, Bethesda wants you to be able to play with all the mods immediately. If Ada had mods she approved or disapproved of, this would push you to make your own robots, as after all, it makes a lot more sense for your robot to be down for anything that you'd want than the literal caravan assistant bot. And considering you don't have free reign over all the modifications until the end of the quest line anyway, I don't think that's an amazing defense on its own. You may be asking, well then why do you care so much about Ada? Why'd you bother making this 5 or so minute video about one companion? And it's because I always found her the laziest one. They wrote half of a character and didn't bother following through with it. I already think a good clump of Fallout 4's companions are kinda weak, but when you write a character and she has the same moral compass as the fucking dog, I feel like we have a problem. Fallout was the series that got me into more sympathetic and nuanced characters with more non-linear motives and goals. So to see a character like this in this series always made her stick out like a sore thumb and kind of annoy me. But anyways, I feel I said my piece. What do you guys feel about Ada or anything I said here? As always, as long as you're respectful, I'm glad to discuss with you in the comments, and I've been Em, and I am out.